Most people visit the Singapore Zoo and night safari to see wild animals. But what if I told you some visitors saw something else watching them? Shadows in the trees, ghosts riding trams, and a flying lady no one dares to talk about. These aren't just decorations. These are true stories from staff who lived through the horror after dark. Welcome to 3 terrifying true tales from the haunted zoo. It was many years ago, maybe in 2009 or 2010. I was working at the night safari in Singapore during their Halloween special event. If you've never been to the night safari, it's a zoo that opens after dark, but during Halloween, it becomes something even darker, something more terrifying. That year, the night safari had a Halloween theme called Spooky Tales of Asia, or something similar. We had everything: creepy dolls hanging from trees, Chinese zombies with long nails and paper talismans on their foreheads, fake tombstones that looked too real, and even scary sound effects playing in the background. The whole place looked like a horror movie. Guests came from everywhere to enjoy the show. Many of them screamed and laughed, thinking it was all fake. But not everything they saw was fake. There were many reports from guests about strange things they saw. But the truth is, many of them didn't even know they had seen a real ghost. Let me tell you what happened to me. I was one of the staff members walking around the park that night. My job was to make sure everything was okay, and also to help guests if they had any questions. I was near this boardwalk area. It had trees on both sides and decorations hanging from the branches. I walked up and down the path, smiling at guests and enjoying the night. Everything felt normal. Then some guests started telling me something strange. One person said, "The decoration on the tree looks so real." Another guest told me, "Wow, you guys really did a great job with the tree ghosts." I smiled and nodded. I didn't think much about it. After all, it was Halloween, and we had many spooky things everywhere. But the comments kept coming. One woman said, "That white figure in the tree looks so scary." Another man pointed and said, "The floating lady is so realistic." That's when I started to feel uneasy. We didn't have any floating ladies as part of the decorations. Then a couple came to me. I think they were Japanese or Korean. The man smiled and said, "The flying lady, very good." My heart skipped a beat. I asked them, "Flying lady?" And they pointed behind me, up at the trees. I turned to look, but there was nothing there. No decoration, no light, no actor. Just the dark trees swaying slightly in the wind. I felt a cold chill run down my back. I realized then that all those guests weren't looking at a decoration. They were seeing something else, something real, something that shouldn't be there. In my mind, I immediately thought of the Pontianak, a ghost woman with long black hair, white dress, and red eyes. She's said to appear near trees and sometimes even floats in the air. Many people believe she is the spirit of a woman who died while pregnant. Her cries are said to bring death, and her presence always brings fear. I didn't see her myself, but the way everyone kept pointing and talking about a flying lady made me believe she was there. I wasn't alone. There were many guests walking nearby, but I still felt scared. That area felt colder than the rest of the park. I didn't go back there again for the rest of the night. That was just the first story. The second one happened to a friend of mine. She was also working at the Halloween event, but her role was very different. She was a scare actor on the Train of Horror ride. This was a tram ride that took guests through the park, while actors jumped out and scared them. My friend was alone in her zone. Her job was to dress as a ghost and scare the guests when the tram passed by. She enjoyed the job and was good at it. But one night, something strange happened. A group of tourists passed by on the tram, and one of them turned to his friend and said loudly, "These two are by far the scariest ghosts we've seen on this ride." My friend heard that and was confused. "Two?" she thought. "I'm the only one here." She looked around quickly but didn't see anyone else. She thought maybe they were joking or trying to scare her back. But then it happened again. More trams passed by, and more guests began acting strangely. Instead of pointing their cameras at her, they were recording something behind her. Some of them even looked scared, not in the fun Halloween way, but real fear in their eyes. She said she started to feel cold. The air around her felt heavy. She tried to keep acting, but her hands were shaking. She didn't want to look behind her, but she felt something was there, watching her, standing close, maybe even copying her. After her shift ended, she ran back to the staff area and told us what happened. She was pale and sweating. Some people laughed nervously, but most of us believed her. Too many things had happened that night already. The idea of a second ghost, one that wasn't part of the show, was very real to us. Now for the third story. This one is quite famous among the staff. I didn't hear this story from one person directly, but I overheard it while sitting in the staff room. A group of workers was laughing and talking about something weird that happened with the trams. One of them said, "Hey, did you hear about the ghost actor who sat on top of the tram?" Another replied, "What ghost actor? No one is supposed to be on the tram roof." The story goes like this. One night, a tram driver saw a figure sitting on top of the tram. It looked like a person wearing white clothes. The driver thought it was one of the actors playing a prank. But when the ride ended, he asked around, and none of the actors admitted to it. No one had climbed on top of the tram. Another driver said he saw the same thing on a different night. A pale figure sitting silently on the tram roof, not moving. Again, no one admitted to doing it. It became a joke among the staff. Oh, maybe that ghost wants to join the ride too. But deep down, many of us felt uneasy. It didn't feel like a joke. The tram is tall, and no actor would risk 24 hours just in a haunted Airbnb. The figure never interacted with anyone. It just sat there like it was watching everyone quietly. After that, some drivers refused to work the night shifts. Others said prayers before starting the tram. One driver even brought a small religious charm with him every night. He said it was to keep unwanted passengers away. These are just 3 of the many stories I've heard or experienced myself while working at the night safari. The zoo is peaceful during the day, but when night falls, things change. Shadows seem to move, whispers float through the air, and cold winds blow even when the night is still. Sometimes I wonder if the zoo was built on something old, something forgotten. The land could hold memories, old spirits, or even curses. After all, animals are known to be sensitive to spirits. There have been times when the animals growled or cried for no reason. Sometimes they refused to enter certain areas. I still remember those nights, the laughter, the screams, the strange chills, and the feeling that someone or something was always nearby. I have more stories and I will share them another time, but for now, I hope these tales gave you a little scare, because every time I think back to those nights, I still feel the same fear creeping in, just like it did all those years ago. If you liked the video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.